All righty. I think we are officially live on this Monday morning. It is March 14th, and we are going to kick our week off here with a little Monday mindset. And actually, I'm going to be sharing some advice that was given by a gold medalist, actually, multi gold medalist. So we will be sharing the story on how that even happened, how we got direct. I say we, myself and my daughter, was my daughter really, and how she was able to get advice, actually a one-on-one with Kerri Walsh Jennings. So pretty awesome, to be quite honest with you. And it's so crazy because everything that we look at, or at least I do, in the lens of entrepreneurship, or through the lens, I should say, of entrepreneurship, uh, it can be related to sports. It can be related to almost anything. And so some really, really good, solid advice was given to my daughter, who's 14. And I actually was able to then think about, how does this apply to life? And she actually talks a little bit about that as well. So that's what we're going to be going over, is really this little piece of advice that that my daughter had received, but also that I'm taking on myself. And I'm going to listen to it and apply it to areas of my own life. But also, I wanted to kind of share that with you because I think it's pretty powerful. So before we do get officially rocking and rolling here on our Monday mindset, can you guys give me a quick little heads up or a little thumbs up? I guess I should say thumbs up. And don't mind me if I'm not really making much sense with my words today. We were outside yesterday for about 10 to 11 hours. It was pretty cold, and it was sunny, but it was cold for beach volleyball. And got home late last night. I'm a little bit windburned, maybe a little bit of sunburn too. So bear with me. But it was a great day. It was really, really a lot of fun. Everything is great, Karen says. Salma gives me a little thumbs up. That's awesome. Good morning, Karen. Scooby Life. What's up? All right, cool. So we are ready to rock and roll. All right. Now, before I do officially kick this off, and I know that people are going to be watching this on the replay, we are going to be doing something pretty awesome this Wednesday. And that is, we are going to be doing our live web class. There's also a bonus, or it's a bonus. I'm going to give it away, but it's something that we're working on, another resource that we're going to eventually use externally so we can attract more people into our world. We're going to give that away on this live web class. So we're working on it right now as we speak. Matter of fact, as soon as I get off here, I'm going to be meeting with Chris Schaefer. We're going to be going over some details with that. And then I'm going to be giving that away to all of our live attendees. Also, if you have been on the fence at all about joining our niche properties class, you're going to probably want to pay attention here too when we go live with our web class, because I'm going to be announcing that you can join, but we're also going to discount it. But this will be the last time that we discount it at this price. So we are going to be raising the price on that entire training because it's really, really good and it's worth more. 100%. I mean, there's courses out there that are selling for over $1,000 that aren't even, to me, equivalent to this. So we are going to be raising our price. We believe it's worth it. And we have some new added things that we're going to be including. So with that all being said, if you're interested in joining me on the live web class, make sure that you go to, I'm going to find my little link here. There it is, brandcreators.com/workshop. If you go there, and it is before, when are we doing that? We are doing that on the 16th. So March 16th. That's a Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. If you are watching this before the 16th, then go ahead and you can register there. Now, if you are watching this after the 16th, you can still go there. There will probably be a registration page that you can sign up to be notified when we do our next one. I'm going to try to do these more frequently now. This is going to be something we're going to be focusing more on to help people that don't even understand what digital real estate is. And also just, people that are in our audience that just need a constant reminder, or maybe they're at different parts of the build, or maybe they've been on the sidelines and now they're finally going to get in. So we're going to do more of these live web classes, at least one per month, possibly two. Kind of back to the old days when we used to do them once a week. We're not going to do them once a week, but we're going to do them about at least once a month. All right. So if you're interested, make sure that you show up there. I've got some cool things I'm going to share. I'm also going to share a brand new hobby niche site that I'm going to be revealing to you. It's a niche property, but it's built in a hobby. And I talked about this the other day about hobbies and are they able to be built into a niche property? And the answer is yes. There's one that's actually selling for 90 some $1,000, and I think it's bringing in about $2,500 per month. So I'm going to be sharing that one. And also another little update here. I'm giving a lot of updates because there's a lot of things going on. Inside of our Brand Creators Academy, we're going to be releasing our newest Niche Properties Insider. This is going to be our third edition or our third volume. We're going to be recording that actually today as well. So that'll be coming out probably mid to the end of the week. And then we'll have our complete guide created for that as well. So that's BCA, Brand Creators Academy members. That's going to be coming as well if you're watching this. All right, so that's it, guys. Let's go ahead and kick this thing off. All right. And actually, you know what? I think I'm going to leave that up there just in case someone comes in late and they're like, hey, what's this whole let's see, the workshop. You know, what's this thing all about? Go ahead and check it out. All right, you can register there. All right, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and officially kick it off and get my notes up, and we will get started. All right, here we go. Notes in hand. All right, cool. If you guys have any questions about this, feel free to ask them in the comments. All right. All right, so here we go. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Monday Mindset. Welcome back to the podcast. If you're listening to this on the podcast, the Rock Your Brand podcast, I want to thank you so much for showing up and hanging out. And today we have a really cool story I want to share with you, but also something I think that will benefit you. And this is our Monday Mindset because, well, this story is about mindset, and it's about, an Olympic gold medalist had shared some advice to us directly. And I say us, more or less my daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, Kerri Walsh Jennings. If you have never heard of her, I'm not quite sure where you've been. But yeah, she is, I know she has 3 gold medals, but I think she has 5 total. But yeah, 3 golds. Beach volleyball, just incredible player, incredible role model. But we were able to get on a one-on-one Zoom call where she was with my daughter face to face, her and my daughter, Kayla and Kerri Walsh Jennings together hanging out for 30 minutes. So I basically paid for it. And I've done coaching calls myself. It's the same idea, right? You get on with someone that you want to pick their brain, you want to get advice, or maybe you just want to get on with them and say, hey, just wanted to hang out with you for 30 minutes. But most of the time it's to, hey, here's something I'm doing. What do you think? And that's exactly what we did. So she gave she's a gold medalist. Okay. She gave some amazing advice, not to mention just an amazing person. Sometimes and I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but it's happened to me where, you have someone that you look up to, and could be a celebrity, could just be someone in general. And then you meet them and they're not like on camera, or they're not, they're not on the stage. And then they're just not who you thought they were. This person here, Kerri Walsh Jennings, 100% who you would think and want her to be. She was, and actually probably a little bit more, because she was so down to earth. It was just incredible. And I'll give you guys the whole play-by-play on like how it went down and what she gave us for advice. But it was just an amazing experience. And a lot of people say like, well, Scott, like, why would someone pay for coaching? Why would someone pay for, trainings or courses? Well, number one, you can speed up the process. And mindset, and she'll tell you too, 80% of your results are from mindset, because a lot of times people just don't carry out the work, right? They don't keep at it. They give up too soon. You get a challenge, something gets in your way. You don't want to move around it. Or go over it. So you just give up, or you go on to something else that you think is going to be easier. And then you never actually are able to see if you were to get the result. And she'll tell you that like firsthand, like you got to be consistent and you have to be intentional. But I'm going to give you the play-by-play. All right. So here's how it went down. So there's a website out there. I believe it's just Skills. It's called Skills, I think, by Skills. And it's what they do is they created a membership site with all of these like really awesome athletes. Michael Phelps, they had Shaun White, some NFL players. They had some let's see who else was in there. Another Olympic gold medalist in running, I think it was, speed skating, all of these different sports. I think they even had a basketball player or NBA. So just a lot of athletes. The site is Skills. So I saw when it came across, it was advertised that Kerri Walsh Jennings had her course. Now these courses are really just interviews. They get them in a room and they set up them in a room in an area. It's nice, and then they have them to answer questions that an athlete would want to ask. Pretty much. Now, in Kerri Walsh's, she actually was on the beach and they took some clips and they showed like passing and they, showed some drills and things like that. But it was more of the mindset. A lot of these interviews are all mindset because these athletes, you have to have just a certain makeup to continue to grind, right? Even when you don't feel like it, you got to have the stamina, you got to have the desire, the want, the grit, like all of that stuff if you want that result. Now think about this. A lot of these Olympic athletes, they get to train for years and years and years, and they may never get that result. But guess what? They go back to work and they do it again and again and again. And they might work a part-time job while they're training because they need to in order to support, their journey. Same thing with us with building a business online. Sometimes we have to stay in our job until we get to a certain level, or maybe we have to get a part-time job to offset it. Like there's things we have to do if you want that end result. Same thing applies here. And like I said, I'm always analyzing like what I'm hearing in another, like sports, for instance, and then I see how it applies to being an entrepreneur, which to me, it's always like almost the same, usually is. So anyway, so did that. And that was about 6 months ago, maybe 8 months ago. And so my daughter watched it. And it was awesome. Then we watched Shaun White's and then we watched Michael Phelps. So we watched, and they're really good. Well done. And I think it was like $100 a year. Like it's not even much, right? It's pretty inexpensive. But they have occasionally they'll have one-on-ones. And so I got an email, and it's here you go again. Email, does email work? I got an email. It said, Skills, and then it said Kerri Walsh Jennings. And then I opened it, and then it said this week only, Kerri Walsh Jennings is going to do a 30-minute coaching calls with anyone who wants one. And I'm like, oh man, like that would be amazing. I'm like, yeah, it's probably going to be like 500 or $1,000 for a half hour. And it really wasn't bad. It was like $120. And I'm like, that's a no-brainer. Pulled my credit card out, paid it, booked the spot for my daughter. And she had an appointment. And I actually texted her a screenshot of the appointment set with Kerri Walsh Jennings. And I texted it to her. So when she got up in the morning, that was the first text that she saw. And she was like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? Like, is it? I said, I'm pretty sure. I mean, we haven't met with her yet, but I'm pretty sure you're going to be meeting with her on Monday at 12. And so she went ahead and got some film together. They wanted to know a little bit about the player. Now, a lot of these players are going to be adult players too, not usually a 14-year-old kid. And so she put together like a 2-minute reel of some of her shots, some of her defense, like some things that she wanted her to see, like what type of player she was. But she also wanted to show her some of the shots that weren't so good or that she wanted help on and critiquing, which I thought was very mature. And so she ends up getting the call. She gets on camera. She was actually sitting right here in my chair in my office. And it was funny because Kerri Walsh was like, so where are you? Are you in a study or something? It looks really cool. And she could see, this stuff. She goes, like, what's all that? And Kayla's like, well, my dad does a podcast. He's got the Rock Your Brand podcast. And she goes, oh, is it called, or is it Take Action? And she's like, no, that's just something he says. And she's like, oh, so it's what's the name? And she said, Rock Your Brand. She goes, oh, I could probably use some of his help. That's what she said. It was hysterical. So maybe, I don't know, maybe one day I'll get on with Kerri Walsh. We'll have her on the podcast. So anyway, so she starts asking her the questions that she had. Like, so Kayla was all prepared. She had all her questions. And Kerri Walsh was just so just so genuine. I can't even say it. Like it was just amazing to listen to how awesome she was and receptive and paying attention. And it wasn't like she was trying to get through the call. She was really listening and really giving some nice, solid, sound advice. And so I want to give you a few of those nuggets, all right, to take away, because I think that they'll benefit you, they'll benefit me. And if there's someone else in your life that you want to get value from this, then maybe share it with them. So the one thing, I'm just looking at my notes here. So one thing that Kayla had said, and I think we all struggle with this, is like, what do you do when things are not going well? Right. So what do you do when things are not going well? So in Kayla's case, right, she's into beach volleyball. One of the main things, you have two people playing now. So if you've never played beach volleyball, it's two people. Okay. It's either two guys, two girls, okay, or co-ed, but two girls. Okay. In this case, it's two girls. And you're there, and that ball gets served over the net, and it's getting served to one or the other. Okay. So the most important thing, the most important thing is what they call serve receive. Okay. So it's basically the first pass. And if you can't do that well, right, then it sets it up that your partner has to scramble to go get the ball and then try to have a good pass themselves. And then the third is the hit, right? You can hit it on two, you can hit it on one, but usually it's pass, set, hit. It's usually what it is. And so she, for a volleyball player, if you're struggling there, okay, and even the pros, even she says, I struggle with serve receive at times. So what happens when you get served two or three times in a row and you have a bad pass? Now you start to get in your own head, right? And that's a big problem for a lot of people in anything. Okay, I'm relating this to anything in life, right? If something happens once, twice, or three times, you start to doubt yourself. You start to have those that self-sabotage start coming in, like, oh, I'm not good enough, and I guess I'm just not cut out for this, or any of those things, right? And so for a beach volleyball player, you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I'm going to get the next one. I hope I can pass this. I hope I can. What if I can't? And then you start to kind of break yourself down. And so that's just one example of what you can struggle with in beach volleyball. There's other things as well, right? So she wanted to know, what do you do when things are not going well? She asked Kerri Walsh Jennings this question. And here were some things that she replied, okay, with. And she says, number one, you have to stay in the present moment. Okay. You can't live in that last pass. Okay. And you can't live in that last thing that you just did and didn't work the way you wanted it to, or that last blog post that you put up and now it's 3 months has gone by and it hasn't gotten indexed, or it doesn't have any traffic yet, and you're beating yourself up, right? It's similar, right? Or maybe you launched a digital product and it didn't get the response that you wanted to. That was then, this is now, right? Like, we have to push that aside. No, we can analyze it, and we should at times, but not while you're in the game, or not while you're in that moment, right? We have to stay in the moment, in the present moment. So that was a big one for her. She says, and this is a life lesson, Kayla. Like, I want you to always think to yourself about being present. And she gave some ways to stay present, and I'll give you those here in a second. But you also, another thing she said, is you always want to remind yourself when something doesn't go right, is remind yourself, and maybe even in that moment, that this is a gift. This is a gift of what you're doing right now. The opportunity that you have right now is a gift, right? Think about things that are going on in the world right now, right? Look at the Ukraine. Look at all of this stuff with Russia, like all of these things. And that's just one example, but all of the other things that we don't see. And we're looking at our thing as a bad thing, but we really have control over this if we allow ourselves to continue, or to push on, or to continue at this. But you have to tell yourself, man, this is a gift. Like, this is a great gift right here. Push that aside. Let's go. I'm going to have some fun. Right? We have to think about the opportunity that we have in our life and treat it as a gift. And I thought that was awesome. So again, these are little checklists that you have to tell yourself. So just remind yourself. And right now, if you're listening to this and you're struggling with something, even if it has nothing to do with business, right? Think to yourself how lucky you are to have what you have. And everyone can say, well, yeah, but I have this, but you have a lot of other things that probably should be recognized, right? So always remember this is a gift. And for Kayla, it's a gift that she's able to be there in the sand playing beach volleyball at her age, right? It's a gift. It's an opportunity and she's taking advantage of it, okay? And then the other thing is creating a word or a person that you will use to remind you that you are, number one, lucky to be where you are. Also, something or someone that reminds you to keep on pushing. Okay. And the one example she said is Kerri Walsh Jennings, is she says hers is Kobe Bryant. She thinks of that name. She thinks of that person. And she thinks, what did he do? What would he do? How did he push through? Right. So when she thinks about all that stuff, because she looks up to him and she, thinks about all of the hard work that went into becoming the person the player. And so that's her thing. So these are like little things. So you might need to think of a word. It could be a word, just be grateful, right? Maybe that's it. Something that will remind you and also be almost a reset in your mind. All right. So that's what she said, right? So be present, be in the present moment, live there. Okay. Let the negative go. Okay. Remind yourself it's a gift of what you're doing right now. It's an opportunity. It's a gift. All right. And then create a word or use a person that will remind you of what you can become. Okay. Now, the next question that she had said, now this was, a question for her and only her. Well, it could be for other girls her age, but I'm going to also translate this. But it was, how hers was, if you were me, what would you do over the next 4 years? So I could be a great beach volleyball player in college. Like that's like, so Kayla's not thinking, oh, I want to go to the Olympics or, oh, I want to go play AVP Pro. Like she's not saying any of that right now because the next step is 4 years, college, right? She wants to go to college and play beach volleyball, D1. That's her goal. Okay. So that's where she's got to go first. She's not going over here. She's going here. Right. And so she said, if it was your kid, if it was someone that was in your family, what would you tell them? Like, what would be your advice? And she was like, great question. It's a great question. And so here were the 3 things that she had said. So number 1 is she said, you just master the basics. Just master the basics. Like she goes, I'm still mastering the basics because you're always mastering the basics. But people think, oh, I learned that, we're good. And what I mean by that is the fundamentals, the basic stuff that we just, we've already learned that, or we were already doing that. No, get a little bit more granular on that and you do it as reps, right? Do it as reps. And so let's translate this. What does this mean for you, right? So master, if you're building a niche property, master the process, the basics. What are the basics? Well, once you get everything set up, it's keyword research, getting better at that, right? Like just because you do it and you get somewhat good at it doesn't mean you have to stop being good at it or try to find other ways to become better at it. So keyword research, okay? Don't get hung up there though. And then content creation and optimization and publishing. Like that is it. That's the basics of this business model. Now, if your business model is something else, find out what the basics are and get good at it and continue to get good at it. Continue to sharpen the saw, right? So that I think was powerful. So for Kayla, it's like passing, like master passing. Because if you pass, hers was, I want you to, for your basics, it's really passing. So a lot of it is serve receive. And then from there, a lot of it is staying behind the ball. Because if you're out here, then the ball can go out that way. But if you get behind the ball and the ball's coming in here, the ball's only going to go that way, right? So always stay behind the ball. And I thought that was great advice. But those are basic stuff. You should Everyone should be able to do that, know that, but a lot of people don't. Okay. And because they skip past it because, oh, I already know how to pass. Right. No, get really, really good, like master passing and staying behind the ball. Okay. So she said, if you do that, it doesn't matter how big your opponent is, it doesn't matter how good your opponent is, you're going to always be behind the ball. You're always going to have good passes. It's always going to set up for a great play. Right. So that was number one. Number two was self awareness. Okay. Self awareness. Be aware. Okay. And so things that she had brought up during this self awareness is always focus on your breath, like meditation. I'm guilty of not doing meditation as much as I would like. I get into these I guess phases in my life where I'll do it for a while and then for some reason it gets interrupted and then I don't do it, which I do need to do it. But even if you didn't do it for more than a minute, right? Just close your eyes, focus on your breath, and get back into your present self, get back into the present moment. And that's that self awareness. That's part of it. So she said, breathe, like work on the breath, um, work on self talk. So when you start having the self talk, recognize it, understand that it's just there to try to protect you. But we also have to have mechanisms in there that can help us say, wait a minute, this is a gift, right? I'm here. This is not like I'm not fighting for my life. This is like fun and it's a gift. And if we're talking about business, this is a gift that I can actually go build a website, put content on it, and get traffic from Google or get traffic from Pinterest, wherever, and I can turn on an ad network. That's a gift that we're able to do that. So if you think about it that way, it just makes it more about the thing that you're doing and the importance of it. And it allows you to have a little bit more fun with it, which we all know if you have fun with something, you're going to probably stick to it longer. So, and then the other thing is like work on responding to challenges. Like, how do you respond to a challenge, right? Are you automatically like, negative about it, or are you looking at that as an opportunity? The one thing she also brought up too is like, she looks at her practices not about like, oh, that was an awesome practice. It's more of like, okay, that was a great practice, but what do I need to work on? What did I struggle with in practice? And that's what I need to focus on, because that's going to only make me a better player. That's only going to make me a better entrepreneur. Okay. You have to look at it that way. Okay. So how do you respond to challenges? And she said, most people do it. They do some of this stuff, right? They do maybe practice self-awareness, or they practice working on challenges and they get through it. But what she said, and this is a big one, is they do it, but they don't do it consistently. They don't do it consistently. I've been saying that for a long time, right? Committing to something and then being consistent. Like that is the secret sauce, guys. Like if you show up and you commit to something, the results will be there. But you got to be consistent. And those results might be small at first, then they compound over time, right? So we have to commit, number one, and then we have to be consistent. Okay. All right. And the third one was, and I thought this was funny how she had put this. She said, understand feeling weird or failing is part of the process of learning and growing and being okay with it. Let me break that down a little bit. And she used an example. She said, remember being in class and you read a paper, or you had to get up in front of people and you just felt weird, or you felt awkward, and you felt maybe embarrassed or whatever, but it's okay. And she said, because if you acknowledge that and realize that that's part of learning, that's part of failing, if we want to call it that, and learning from that. And that is really where you're going to grow. But if we never allow ourselves to fall down, we're never going to be able to find out how much further we could have taken this. All right. Because we don't push ourselves enough. All right. So that one there was that was a good one, right? Understand feeling weird or failing is part of the process of learning and growing and being okay with it. Just being okay with it. And knowing that you're great. You're great. And yes, you might be a little bit behind, or you might be further behind than someone else, but that's okay. That's the other thing she said that I want to bring up is focus on you. Don't focus on that one or that one over there or that one over there. Focus on you, right? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it comes down to you, right? Whatever you want to do or whatever you want to have, the result that you want to have is totally up to you, right? So you have to be your biggest cheerleader. And she said that too. Be your biggest cheerleader. Give yourself the credit. All right. So, big takeaways: master the basics and never stop, and stay in the present moment and be your best cheerleader in your own head. All right. So, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this. Maybe down the road, I'll see. I'll probably have to get her okay, but maybe I'll try to get her on the podcast. Who knows? But maybe I'll grab a couple of the clips that she had given my daughter as far as the advice and things. I think it would be helpful to just even hear it straight from her. But yeah, I thought this was literally gold for my daughter. I think it's a huge thing for her to get that type of advice. And I want to be able to translate that and give it to you as being someone that's trying to create an online business or take your business to the next level or wherever you're going with your business. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs, and there's going to be parts where you're going to want to give up. There's things that are going to come up that's going to make you want to doubt yourself or make you feel like you're not worth it or you're not good enough or any of that stuff. It's all in your head. Okay. It's all in your head. We all have that voice in our head that wants to try to get us to stop or tells us that it's probably easier if you just do that, or it's probably easier if you just give up or you don't do that. I'm here to tell you, you are worth it. You are able to do it. You just have to make up your own mind in your head. And hopefully this episode will help you with that if you've ever been struggling with that. All right. So anyway, I want to thank you for listening, and hopefully this Monday mindset is going to get you ready to get out there and go after what you want to achieve and achieve it. All right. One step at a time. And you might want to come back and listen to this one more time. All right. Or maybe every 6 months. I don't know, whenever you need it. All right. So guys, that's it. That's going to wrap up your Monday mindset. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. If you want to be part of our morning crew, head on over to takeactioncrew.com. Again, that's takeactioncrew.com. And what you can do is head on over there. You can sign up to my email list where I will send you helpful tips, advice, things that I'm working on, things that I'm learning also. But yeah, if you want to be part of that, head on over there, and you'll also get there's a player over there with a lot of the coffee talks that you can watch, or you can sort through by this little search bar that we have that'll allow you to go through all of them and find little bits and pieces that you're looking for. Any questions that you have can be answered there. All right. So guys, that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As always, take care, take action, have an awesome, amazing day. And I'll see you right back here on the next episode. Now let's get them. Cut. All right, guys. Any quick questions before we wrap for the day? Let's see. Let's see. What's up, Karen? Good to see you. Great Mindset Monday. Awesome. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, Kay, no problem. It was a great Monday mindset. Thank you, Scott, for sharing such a valuable life lesson. Needed that reminder. Well, you know what I love about this is sometimes it is just a reminder, right? And that's really, what this Monday mindset is a lot of times, because you can, we can sit here and go, I've already heard that before, right? And we've heard it from this one, we've heard it from that one, but sometimes you just need to hear it again and it'll click. All right. So that's what these are for. So hopefully this did helped you, and it looks like it did help a bunch of you. So take it on with you and use it. And it's not something that's going to happen overnight. So just one little thing, kind of plug it into your life, see if it helps you, find a way to make it work for you. And I think it will. I think it'll help you in the future. I know it's going to help me. I know it's going to help my daughter. So yeah. All right, guys, that's it. That's going to wrap this up. I got to rock and roll on out of here. By the way, if you missed the beginning, we are going to be doing a live web class, free web class this Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, March 16th. And if you're interested in joining us, make sure you head on over to brandcreators.com/workshop. We're going to be talking all about digital real estate, or as I like to call them, is niche properties. And we're going to be doing it on that topic. But I'm also going to be breaking down 3 different areas that will help you. And they're what I'm calling my 3 secrets, but really they're just things that have really worked. They can work for anyone. And it's what I've learned over the last 2 years of building these niche properties. And I really think that we can dial this in a little bit better and make it even faster. All right. So if you're interested, make sure you head on over to brandcreators.com/workshop. It will be live. I will be there. Hopefully you'll be there. Chris Schaefer will be there, and we'll answer some live questions at the end as well. Oh, and if you would like to jump into our niche properties class, don't do it yet because we are going to be making an announcement that we are going to be offering it for a discount. It'll be our last time that we offer it at this price. So the price will be increasing, but we'll talk about that as well. And I've got a sweet little bonus that I'm going to be giving out to all attendees, whether you are investing in our training or not. I'm going to give out that bonus. It's a little resource we've been putting together, and we're putting our finishing touches on, and I'm going to reveal it, and I'm going to give it out on that live web class. And that's going to be on Wednesday, March 16th, 9 p.m. Eastern time. All right, guys. So take care, take action. Have a great Monday. Have a great week. I'll talk to you guys soon. I got windburn. I can't think straight. All right, guys. Have a great week.